Today we are going to make gluten-free pizza. First, we dissolve the yeast in warm water. So it has to be warm water. It's just a tablespoon of yeast. So we stir it. We stir it. Then we leave it for 5 minutes to a little bit ferment to get ready. The next thing we do again, we have gluten-free flour. This gluten-free flour, I bought it in a supermarket. Mix this a little bit salt with the gluten-free flour. This is a 500 grams of gluten-free flour. So 500 grams of gluten-free flour. Then we add two eggs to it. As I said, we add 2 eggs to it. Basically, the eggs help to bind the flour and the water. So we stir it. Then we add the yeast. The other thing we also add again is oil. 2 tablespoons of oil. Now we put the tablespoon of oil. Then we mix. The next thing we do, we add water. So the water we add is half amount of the flour. Basically, if you don't have a measuring scale, you just use half. But if you do have, it's 250 grams or 250 ml. So you just stir it together like this. Another thing I'm going to say is that some people, they are living in a place where you don't have gluten-free flour. You can basically make it up yourself. So what you use is 500, no, I said sorry, you use 300 grams of corn flour if you are making gluten-free flour. 300 grams of corn flour, 50 grams of potato starch or tapioca starch, and 250 grams of potato flour. Then you mix all together. Then you follow what we just did here. So this, after that, we just leave it for it to for a few minutes, maybe for 20 minutes. We leave it for 20 minutes. Then we turn it. So we then roll it out. If it's too wet, what you can do is you can add extra flour to it, just as what I'm doing here. Then you mix. It's quite very important to make it a little bit strong because it doesn't have gluten. So gluten helps to bind the whole thing together. But what we are doing now here is we just want to have something that look a little bit of that of gluten. So gluten is the main thing that help dough make bread to rise. So that's what we are trying to repeat here. You could see at least it's a little bit better. So we're going to let it rise. It will not rise heavily, but a little bit. Then after that, we roll it out. So we leave it, then we cling film it. So we are going to roll it out. So we are going to roll it out. So we oil the pan. we oil the pan. Then we are using our hand to do it. You could see. We are using our hand. Just roll it out. As I said before, this is a homemade. It's not industrial, just homemade. Anybody can easily make it. If you just follow the ingredients. Start again. Now we have rolled it out. So we wait for 5 minutes, let the yeast add, say 5 to 10 minutes, let the yeast add on the dough. Then after that we turn it to pizza. Then we now make proper pizza now. We have, this is our pizza sauce we make earlier on. Here is our cheese, mozzarella and cheddar mixed together. So now we're going to start. We take our sauce. Take our sauce. Then we put our pizza, our mozzarella. Sorry, I made say our pizza. Put our mozzarella around it. Our cheese. Put the cheese around it. Then you cannot add any ingredient you want to add. You cannot add any topping you want to add. So here we are using a pepper. We are adding the pepperoni. We put some pepperoni around it. There you see. So we just leave it for a few minutes. For the gluten-free pizza we make, we are going to put it in the oven. So we switch the oven on for 15 minutes. Let the oven be hot. Then we put the pizza in the oven. We put it for 190 for 30 minutes. It all depends on the oven actually. So we put it in the oven now. Bring the gluten-free pizza out. The gluten-free. Here is the gluten-free pizza. So another thing we are going to do here is, sometimes at the bottom is not very cooked. What we can do, we can just pass it through the heat for just 3 seconds. Just to make sure that the bottom is properly cooked. Since we are not using professional oven, pizza oven, we are using household oven, just for 3 minutes. You could see like this, you do like this, go round, just then you switch it off. That is it. Done.